Hey, it's Gabe, and this is the second part of our Getting the Funk Out. So, I'm going to show you a new chord today, and then we're going to start placing our squeezes on different parts of the beat. Alright, so get tuned up. Okay, so here is a new chord for you. So last time we did this B minor 7, we had our middle finger on the 6th string on the 7th fret. Our third finger was barring the first 4 strings, also on the 7th fret. So the new chord I'm going to show you is what's called an E9. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your middle finger, it's going to move down to the 5th string. That bar finger is going to move to the first 3 strings. So I'm barring the first 3, still in the 7th fret, the middle finger's 7th fret on the 5th string, and here's what we're going to add is the first finger is going to go 1 fret behind, so on the 6th fret on the 4th string. So I'll show you from this side, there we go. Alright, and so here's what that sounds like. I'm hitting it from 5 down. Okay, so here was our first chord, B minor 7, and then here's our E9. Okay, this is a pretty classic chord progression, so if we just do these 2 chords, and I'll do that squeeze and release thing that I showed you in the last lesson. So for example, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, so just between those 2 chords, you can start to get pretty cool kind of groove going. Okay, so I'm going to start to show you where you can put these squeezes on different parts of the beat, but all we're going to do is just use these 2 chords for the rest of the lesson. Okay, so last time what we did is we squeezed on all of our downbeats. So 1, and then on 2 you would squeeze. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... This time what I'm going to have you do is I want you to squeeze on the ands. So for example, if I'm going to go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay, so here's that a little bit more up to tempo. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay, here it is without me saying anything. Okay, so if I do those 2 chords, so I'm going to do our B minor 7 to our E9, I'm going to keep it that same groove throughout the whole thing. I'm going to do 4 beats for every chord. So okay, so right now all we've got is our number and our and. So again, if we're counting, for example, if we're counting 16s, 1, E, and, we've got our 1, E, and. So right now we're placing our emphasis on the 1 and on the and. So just between those 2 things, we can start to get it sounding a little more like an actual funk groove as opposed to an exercise. So for example, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So I'm going to squeeze on 1, 3, 4, and. So I'll do that one more time. So 1, 3, 4, and. And here it is without me saying anything. Okay, here's with both of the chords. So 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, so I hope you got the idea with these. And so what you should try and do is put that squeeze, right, whenever you want to squeeze the chord, try different numbers, different ands, and you'll start to get some cool patterns kind of coming out. And again, if you do just these 2 chords, you can come up with some really good grooves. Okay, so again, here's what's going to end up sounding like. Okay, so again, I'm making it up. I'm going to show you how to do all this in future lessons. We're going to start putting our squeezes on the ups, right? And then that's where things start to get a little bit more complicated. So keep in mind, we're counting 16th notes, which means that that's 16 places within every measure that you can squeeze or you can scratch. Okay, so the patterns are almost limitless. And especially when you start to add some other chords, we'll add some other techniques, for example, sliding into the chords. So all of that's going to be coming up in future lessons, and I will see you next time.